Now, JJ Reddick, he's been a big defender of LeBron, and some people are starting to have a problem with it.
I look at the Lakers season that we should treat this season as a celebration of LeBron's individual greatness.
Talk about tone deaf and missing the mark.
Yeah, they were pissed.
And missing the mark on the worst take on day one of the NBA season.
It's no secret that JJ Reddick, when you talk about the GOAT debate, I mean, he has a clear number one.
He is sort of the definition of a basketball genius. Look, LeBron is, I think, the greatest player to ever play.
And mind you, ESPN recently gave him a multi-year extension.
Like, LeBron, if it's not Michael, it's LeBron.
And obviously, this is a newer generation as opposed to Stephen A's.
I have one man above LeBron James, and that's Michael Jordan. And you would think that I said the bro is a scrub.
And man, are the old heads upset.
You must be crazy. Get off that anchor desk if you're not going to do your job, JJ Reddick, or at least refund all the season ticket holders of the Lakers their money back.
Rob Park, tell us how you really feel.
So seeing how frustrated Rob Parker got, why did JJ Reddick say this?
Because he will at some point hopefully pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. And that should be what this season is about.
And I understand it. This is a guy that played in the NBA against LeBron James early in his career. He saw how great he was. But should we really be focusing on that?
Should the Lakers sit LeBron at this point?
Because what does LeBron passing Kobe third in scoring and then passing Karl Malone for second in scoring do for the team's success? I mean, isn't this just serving LeBron James like in a selfish way? I mean, we should still be criticizing him.
Is any of it self-serving though? In terms of passing Karl Malone, personal accolades, his own legacy, even if the Lakers don't go anywhere?
Now, of course, Wendy, he covered LeBron James since his high school days now, but he does make a good point.
I mean,
Why stop playing?
You could call it self-serving. He could call it being competitive.
Molly, to that point,
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's right that we, as the media, are going to get mad at players and teams for load management and resting guys, while simultaneously knocking LeBron for wanting to play basketball.
Fair.
Why is JJ Redick this season sounding way more extreme than he did last season? I mean, this is weird. And for the Lakers, I mean, if you want your favorite team to beat them, subscribe. Now, we got to get back to the point that JJ is making here.
Because to Wilbon's point, I agree with this. Spending all day, every day, talking about their deficiencies, that's not great. We know who this team is. They since they won the championship, they got in the play-in game the following season, and they didn't even make the play-in game the next season. This team has a lot of deficiencies, and this season should be about LeBron James.
And holy shit, I can't believe I'm saying this. Rob Parker is going to make a good point.
JJ, why don't you quit that job since you don't want to critique the games and you don't want to criticize the Lakers? Give up your job and go to the Lakers, get season tickets, and applaud LeBron James the entire season. How dare you? Do you understand where the word fan comes from? From fanatics.
It's so weird how JJ is sounding more like a cheerleader, a fan, than really an analyst. It's something that CNN would be doing, oh boy. And I'm telling you, like, this LeBron James situation, I mean, you have to criticize what you see on the floor. And for LeBron James, you can also criticize the things he says off the floor.
I think we're getting great looks, I think, but it also could be teams giving us great looks. Be completely honest, we're not a team that's constructed of great shooting. And that's just the truth of the matter is, it's not like, you know, we're sitting here with a lot of lasers on our team.
And I'm so glad Stephen A. you just called this bullshit out.
Who's most to blame for this Lakers potential disaster?
It would be easy to blame Rob Pelinka, but there is no question the biggest culprit in all of this is LeBron James.
Now, I'm not saying that he should get the most blame, but I'm saying he should get a good proportion of it.
You don't end opening night's press conference by telling everybody your team can't shoot and then sit up there and say, well, you know what? I'm going to focus on what we can do. You already told the world what to focus on. Y'all can't shoot, okay?
And it's not just the questionable leadership that should be criticized from LeBron's standpoint. It's also some of the decisions he's made indirectly.
It was bad enough that you pushed for the Lakers to get a dude that you were screaming at on the basketball court in the bubble that he with us because he was on the other team and you knew he couldn't shoot perimeter shots. and you were encouraging him to shoot the basketball. And then a year later, you encouraging the Lakers to bring him on board because he was your boy. So you let emotions usurp your basketball sense.
2 years ago in the bubble, I mean, this team had to figure it out. And it's like LeBron was dominating against Westbrook. I mean, you could see it here. He could clearly read the pass right there.
But his personal affinity and affections, his personal feelings, usurped his basketball judgment. And it has turned the Lakers franchise into an abysmal display of basketball thus far.
And tell me this, has LeBron ever publicly praised Stephen A. Smith like this?
King James showing some love to JJ Reddick on Friday night. Okay, JJ, we see you.
And why do you think LeBron likes a guy like JJ Reddick? I mean, it's not just that he's a former player, but it's like the same reason that Ben Simmons likes him. He gives him a voice, and he gives him the platform to say what he wants with very little pushback.
I think it's kind of ignorant in terms like Shaq and Chuck sometimes what they're saying because they have a platform to kind of like protect us and do good.
No pushback whatsoever.
Obviously, they're supposed to criticize us, we're basketball players. But when it comes to like personal stuff, I think there's a level of like respect they should have.
And of course, Nichelle and Shaq, they did a good job responding.
I also think it showed how this generation of players also wants to be coddled. He said, well, they have a platform to protect us and to do good. That's not your job.
The generation of NBA players that Shaq belongs to, I mean, they did things differently.
Then he's like, well, I guess they're supposed to, they are supposed to criticize. Yes, your job is to talk about what you see. You're an analyst. Your job is to analyze what you see. Your job is to say the good, the bad, and the ugly. Period. Your job is not to get on there and say Ben Simmons looks cute in his green outfit. It's not.
But we got to talk about some of the things JJ Reddick is right about and some of the things that he has, good points on it. For example, when Isaiah Stewart, was going after LeBron James, I mean, Stephen A. Smith said some very questionable things.
LeBron James is too phenomenal and too great not to be incredibly respected. But in my estimation, from the people that I've spoken to covering the league, he's never been feared.
And of course, you already know what JJ Reddick has to say about this.
To say that LeBron, who's won 4 championships, multiple league MVPs, made the finals 8 straight years, to say he's not feared by players?
Not feared.
I don't know whether to believe that you believe what you're saying.
I do believe
that's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy.
I know for a fact my Raptors were scared of LeBron at one point, and I'm pretty sure Kendrick Perkins recently told us how scared he was of LeBron James, bro.
And I ain't gonna lie, man. I was scared as hell going into that Game 7 against LeBron James. And this was the only time that I actually prayed that something happened to him at practice. I said, you know what? Like, no.
What a thing to confess.
Like, I'm not even lying. I'm not even exaggerating. And
I to edit this out.
No, you can't edit this out. This is real. That's how terrified I was of LeBron.
What I'm saying to you is this. If you watch the game, which you do, and
I played the game, I played the game, Stephen A. And I played against LeBron in the playoffs.
Okay.
And I played against LeBron for 15 years.
And I think JJ Reddick, I mean, he could speak to a lot of the things LeBron's going through that I think needs to be highlighted, especially, to the old heads out there.
This, I don't know, NBA Twitter, social media, whatever.
The slander
that's out there.
Daily slander, yeah.
You didn't see or feel that or hear that back in the day. I guess there was talk radio, but even that was somewhat filtered.
Rich Paul recently said that, LeBron James had a harder path to walk than Michael Jordan did. In a way, there is some truth to that.
Jordan didn't have to experience, like LeBron had that added burden, but no player has ever endured, in my opinion, not JJ Reddick at Duke, not Christian Laettner, but have endured as much vitriol and just abuse and slander that LeBron James has endured.
Now, I personally think Kobe dealt with more scrutiny, but that's another debate for another day, okay? But you could see here, JJ Reddick platforming people that have different perspective than the old heads. I mean, that's why a player like LeBron, he likes to hear that because it resonates with him and his generation of newer guys.
Those old heads who love, like Jordan, I don't think we fully appreciate, like, what LeBron has done in this environment that he's in.
And I'm telling you guys, we gotta talk about it because LeBron, off the court, is just a man amongst men. I mean, he does so many good things.
And how he's done things off the court. He's taken it to a whole nother level, empowering his friends, building multiple platforms. That's what life is. That's what the game is. It should evolve. It should be better than the previous generation.
So you could see how a guy like JJ Reddick threatens the old guard of the media.
I agree with Rich. I'm not saying Michael's path wasn't hard or LeBron's path hasn't been hard. But what he's saying is he had to follow Michael, and he's done it.
LeBron has so many adoring fans, and I'm pretty sure the new generation of fans, they are much more aligned with guys like JJ Reddick and LeBron James.
We appreciate you and the fact that you've created this legacy and opened up so many doors for children and little black boys that look like you. You've done it, and we cheer and feel so elated, not just for you, but for all of us, because when one of us make it, it feels like we've all made it in some way. So
a guy like JJ Reddick will sing LeBron's praise because he's played against him. He's seen how great he is. And obviously, a guy like LeBron James, he has platforms. He speaks on issues. He's more accessible than a guy like Jordan is.
To be able to give us a lane of opportunity. We've gone so long with not being heard. Like, one of my biggest aspirations, one of my biggest goals was like, how the fuck can I create voice and power for us as black creators, as black people, not only to create the lane, but also to be able to gain and own our lane.
And with the social media age, making the game more accessible to fans, and LeBron being its most popular face of it, you could see how a guy like JJ Reddick is able to get away with protecting LeBron James. I mean, isn't it obvious? This is what fans want. This is why fans love JJ Reddick so much.